We survived.
It's so great to be back from the Caribbean. You know, just all that 85 degrees sunny weather just gets to you after a while. Not. But we came back to great weather in Seattle, so we can't complain.
That's right. We can't. So we wanted to just kind of recap a little bit about the trip and why we took it in the first place. So if you didn't know this, well, you're going to know this because this is the end of the whole video, I guess. But we picked a tall ship cruise. We've never done a cruise before. Don't have a desire to do a cruise in general with all those people. But we have always wanted to bareboat a catamaran or powerboat through the Caribbean, and not knowing if we would like it, if we'd like sailing, if we'd like sleeping in the Caribbean on the water. We thought, well, let's start with a tall ship because that's exactly what they do. They leave typically in the evening and they sail through the night, and you're sailing typically until about 10 or 11 in the morning. So you kind of get to see what it's like.
A little bit bigger than a bareboat, obviously.
Yeah, there's 140 people on this
140 people, 360 feet of boat. It's not like a, you know, eight or four couple catamaran going through the BVIs, but it still gave us an idea of what
it was like.
Looking forward to.
So it started in Sint Maarten, and all the islands were brand new to us with the exception of Antigua. So we flew into Sint Maarten on our wedding anniversary. We stayed at Holland House right on the beach. I highly recommend it.
Highly recommend
They've
it.
got all the setup to take you to the cruise ships. They've got it in with the taxi guys, so that worked out perfect.
And they're going through a full remodel following Irma, so everything's brand new, great finishes.
We got a
everything
suite.
was fantastic.
It was phenomenal. We did take a couple hours out of the day to go to the famous beach where the planes fly over. It is pretty cool. I wouldn't waste a whole lot of time. Just get there, do your stuff, and then grab a beer and get out. So it wasn't worth staying there. And there were planes constantly. So we were there maybe an hour and a half, and we called it good.
Yep.
We then went to the terminal, and one thing I'd recommend right off the bat, and I don't know if this is the case with any other cruise, but with this cruise, we could see all the people were leaving all at once to board at the boarding time, which was 4 o'clock, and we hung back. We waited about, I don't know, an hour-ish?
At least, if not two.
Maybe, no, because we got on the boat about 5:45.
Oh, yeah.
And we were the only 4 people in the terminal, the only 4 people that got on, so it was perfect. We didn't have the mayhem, we didn't have to wait in line, so I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
The boat did a great job.
Because, by the way, there were like 4 other giant cruise ships at the shipping terminal, not just our little sail ship, I should say.
Which he had a habit all weekend
Yeah,
calling
I kept
it a
calling
boat.
it a boat. Yeah, and luckily none of the crew heard me call it a boat. But
we did travel with another couple who I've known my entire life, the husband, and they were great fun, Ben and Maria, and it was their first time to the Caribbean, so it was kind of new for all of us, with the exception, like I said, of Antigua. The ship does a great job in kind of trying to keep you going with food and activities, but it's also really, really laid back. I would say probably the coolest thing it does is every time it sets sail, and you'll see that a lot on the past video that we did, the sails go up, this dramatic music goes with it.
very dramatic.
It's every single night. I mean, by the end of the 7th day, you're like, okay, not so much. But that part was cool. I have no regrets about that.
No, it was cool. It was cool. I mean, it's a working sail ship, so to see how much work is involved.
17 sails.
Or
22 on ours.
I think it had about 22, something like that. Yeah, give or take.
The other cool thing that we got to do during the trip, and then we'll touch on a couple of the islands, is we did one morning sail side by side with the Royal Clipper,
The sister ship.
our sister ship, side by side with the dramatic music. So, I mean, it was a little overkill, but it was super cool.
Yeah, they dropped the sails on all of theirs. So I'm not a sales boat person, sales ship person, so I don't know.
You're not a sailman.
Yeah, I'm not a salesman, I guess.
Not sales.
Sailman. I'm not a sailor. So anyway, as you can tell. So anyway, it was
Oh my
neat
God.
because they had two different sale plans on the two different boats. The Royal Clipper was mostly horizontal
Yeah.
sails in drops and squares. I guess they're called sheets.
Sheets.
I guess all sails are sheets, but anyway,
They
so it's
drop
more
down.
across the crossbmembers. Where the Star Flyer, which we had, were all pretty much mass driven, so vertical sails, triangles, and so it was a nice difference between
Yeah.
the two boats.
So that part was cool. I don't know if they do that on every itinerary. The other thing, one big reason we took this trip is my girlfriend from college recommended it. She did it through the Mediterranean. Said it's really laid back. It's not, you have one area that you eat. They do have some rules, but really for the most part, people
it's
dress very casual, business casual, very friendly. They do snacks, but it was just very casual, and that I liked. I liked to be able to go grab a drink and sit up on the bow.
Oh, yeah.
One day Ben did climb the mast, so you'll see the footage of that, or you already seen it because this is at the end. Maybe it's in the beginning. I don't know. We'll see where we put this whole.
I'm not quite sure where we are at this point, so you've either seen it or you're going to see it. Make a comment below and tell us where you did.
So its itinerary was interesting. The first 3 days went to islands that are kind of not very popular. So the first island was Nevis and St. Kitts. There's not a lot on those islands, especially after Hurricane Irma. So we did not get off the
they're pretty
ship.
desolate.
Yeah.
Kind of rocky. They're not what you would expect from
Not a lot of shopping.
not palm trees and all kinds of lush foliage. It's much more volcanic and rocky.
Yeah.
And,
The,
arid.
From Nevis, we went to Dominica. Dominica got slaughtered by Hurricane Irma. We chose to go up to the fort that day, and our friends went to the beach, and they said the beach was wonderful. And then from there, we went to Isle des Saints, which is a quaint little French town. Quaint and cute, but
Not much there.
Not much there.
There wasn't much there.
Most of the restaurants wanted reservations to have lunch, so I don't know. Do they have an open table there? I don't know, but we couldn't eat because we didn't have reservations.
We won't get into the differences between the French islands and the
Yeah.
Dutch English islands.
And Guadeloupe was
From a
the
people
same.
perspective, but-
Guadeloupe was the same way. We did do the botanical gardens. Had a little bite to eat afterwards with a little buggy. So do bring your bug spray. Poor Maria got eaten alive.
She's my bug spray because they all bite her.
Yeah, I just
and
got
leave me
eaten a
alone.
little bit. Maria got eaten alive, but the botanical gardens was beautiful. We ended up having to walk back to the marina downhill because the cab driver never picked us up.
Yeah, I never showed up, even though I
But
told him.
it was
I wanted
still
to.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
From there, we went to Antigua, which is our favorite island. And honestly, I wish we would have stayed a little bit longer to kind of show
Oh,
them.
yeah.
We hired a taxi cab driver, which we've done before, and take us on an around the island tour. I highly recommend it. We've done it before, or we did it again.
Oh, we had a very short time on the island.
We had like 2.5 hours. That
Oh,
was it.
mainly because we had the excursion.
We had an
went
excursion.
Swimming with the stingrays
And
in the afternoon.
That I highly recommend. It was
Oh,
our
yeah.
second time we've done it, and I've enjoyed it far more than the first time. And I think because we were in shallower water, and the guys we were working with were great. They were much more interactive and just
So
excited.
you may have already seen Allie kiss the stingray, or you
It's
will,
coming up.
or you will see her coming up
Yeah.
kissing the stingray.
Her name was
So,
Lola, and she was very sweet.
Yes.
And then we headed back after that and just enjoyed a beautiful harbor. Falmouth Harbor is one of our favorite
Oh, yeah,
places
beautiful.
in Antigua. And so we highly recommend it. In fact, they have a boat show in November, and we might figure out a way to go back for the boat show and a quick little trip because it really is our favorite island in the Caribbean. And then we finished the trip in St. Barths, and I'm not sure if it's St. Barths or St. Barths because it's St. Bartholomew.
Right.
So, but anyways, I call
think
it
it can
St.
go by either way. Yeah.
But we did not get off the boat. In fact, we just relaxed and read because we were told it was expensive, and I didn't feel like dealing with the shopping scene, so we didn't get off the boat.
Yeah, no, but yeah, rodeo drive in the Caribbean. I
Yeah.
guess.
So we just relaxed. It was gorgeous. It was hot. The one thing that I would say normally, and I have no regrets again, I'm glad we did it because now we know what it would be like if we bareboat our own charter. But this boat is a sailboat, so you are always...
I don't know if we're still in frame.
I don't know. We are always...
Let's see.
Try showering like that.
Yeah.
Try brushing your teeth like that. Try walking down the hall like that. God, it just... Your core, I don't know, maybe.
Even when the sails, most of the time the sails were down and we were still heeled over.
So that got old.
Yeah.
I'd rather be flat. And so a catamaran or powerboat is definitely, I think, what we would do. I would not do monohull. No offense to you monohull lovers.
Oh, yeah.
We get it night and day.
What we did do is have a whole appreciation for the sailing process and the peacefulness of it, being out there in the ocean with the moon setting over the Black Sea, and and the stars above, and just it was a fantastic experience. But we've never necessarily, I shouldn't say never. Never is a
I couldn't
good
do
word,
it for any much longer. Let me
Yeah.
just say, I was glad. And today's Sunday. We got back last night at midnight, and another big question.
So props to all you guys who have done like the transatlantic, trans-Pacific in a single hull. That is amazing.
The one thing people did ask us a lot is if we got seasick. Now, our room was 302, so that we were in the very front of the bow.
Which
So
we didn't plan that well.
And the one thing I'll say, our room did a lot of this, like really deep and then really back up and then really deep. We both wore sea bands. You can buy them at West Marine. The entire trip. I did have to take Bonine during the day, and even Maria started to feel it, and she usually never gets seasick, and they also, they're boaters, so they have a 270 Sundancer, and so...
I didn't get seasick, I didn't even get queasy, but
you also had your band on.
I had my band on, but I typically don't get seasick, so I don't know if it was just the band, I don't know if I was just like, so it doesn't hurt to put it on.
I would be prepared. Be prepared, because all day today, I have had sea legs. And it's
I haven't had any.
See, and I have
I got chills
all
for some
day.
reason. Anyway.
That would be great. So, would we do it again? Probably not, but not in a bad way. It's just that we've done it. So check. That's a check box.
I would definitely not rule it out, but I definitely would not do this particular
itinerary. I would maybe do the Mediterranean.
Or they were doing another one. The follow-up cruise right after this one was, I think, going to go through the BVIs mostly rather than the southern.
I would pick pick islands that have activities.
Yeah.
You know, because you are on a remote ship. The crowd is a bit older.
Oh, and I will say on this particular ship, because I believe it's the smallest one in the Star Clipper fleet. They don't really launch any water activities off of the boat. They take them all to shore. Whereas what we saw with the Royal Clipper in the stern has a garage that opens up and allows the passengers to actually do the water activities right off the bat, including just going in and swimming. So we never got a chance to swim around the boat or anything like that.
We were supposed to in St. Barths. It was too rough.
Yeah,
the other thing I should mention is, unlike a regular cruise ship, this cruise ship never went to port. We anchored every single day.
True.
And the way you got to port was by the tender. So you walked out, they lowered the gangplank, so you walked down, and it's scary the first time. When we were in Navis, we didn't do it, but it was a long boat trip, and it was rough. I mean, the seas were probably 2 feet in, so you had to jump from the gangplank onto this tender, which is your life raft, Titanic.
Yeah, it was a life raft, yeah.
And but it's easy if it's close to shore, and all of ours were close to shore, but we anchored every single time. So that's the other thing is different. And then on some of the islands they did take the water sports, paddle boards and the Zodiac, but again we never did any of those.
Yeah, we never did any of those.
So anyways, that's our review on this.
I'd still give it 2 thumbs up for the experience.
Yeah. Highly recommend it from that perspective. If you're curious what it's like to sail the Caribbean and you don't want to do the bareboat, just see the feeling of sleeping at night, cruising in the dark, arriving in the morning in port. That's kind of the same thing, but with 140 people. It was a great experience, and I'm glad we did it. It was another bucket list, and I wouldn't say it was negative. I don't have anything negative.
And the other thing that one of the last coolest things they did was, I think it was the last night, they showed a movie called Around Cape Horn.
Oh my God!
It's probably on YouTube or whatever. It's about a guy who filmed a trip around Cape Horn
in 1912,
1929, I believe. And through some of the roughest seas you will ever see. This guy was climbing
on a similar boat.
Yeah, and so a multi-masted, sail ship, and he was climbing up to the top of the mast, filming down. I mean, I don't know how any help a camera is. Without a steady cam, I don't know how he did it.
And how he didn't get it wet.
And I don't know how he didn't die, to be honest. If you watch this, it's called Around Cape Horn. It's probably, 45 minutes? Half an hour, 45 minutes?
And it's not only not only is it educational.
We'll put the link somewhere around
it is highly entertaining because
the narration is a little bit done from a different time. Let's put it that way.
It was.
You be the judge.
Have a glass of port after dinner and watch the video. It was actually.
But the video is amazing. I mean, you want to talk about real men?
Yeah.
Those guys were crazy. They're either real men or crazy men.
After they did the video, they did a big light show on the sails, so that was cool too. So I highly, they did a lot of stuff like that. They brought on a steel drum band from Antigua. They had like a 12-year-old kid who was just a phenomenal. So again, I would definitely recommend it, but be forewarned. And that was kind of our whole reason for doing this video series, was to kind of know. We couldn't find any information on it.
No.
Did they have a gift shop? No, they sold clothing. That was it.
Yeah, that's the gift shop, was selling.
Did they have
Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi? Not really. They did.
Expensive Wi-Fi.
Expensive, so we didn't buy it.
What was it? $10 an hour?
$10 an hour.
Yeah.
Do they have safes and hair dryers in the room? Yep. And do they have full amenities? Yep. But you shower in your bathroom just like you would on our old Bayliner.
At least in our cabin.
I think they're all like that.
It had a drawn curtain, which was fine. It didn't, the bathroom stayed dry.
Yeah.
But
in our new boat, we have a separate shower, so we don't have to worry about that.
But there were other. You can go up into cabins where somebody was saying they had a jacuzzi tub.
Those were on the main deck.
Those were the main deck.
And there was only about 5 of those.
Yeah.
And we had one of the larger cabins. I do know that. So I can't imagine. I do recommend having one with a porthole. I can't imagine being on the inside, no porthole, down below. I couldn't do that.
But then again, we didn't spend a lot of time in the room. It was kind of like Vegas. You're just in the room to sleep.
Yeah.
And so, I was pleasantly surprised by the amount of space we had.
Yeah, and the crew is extremely friendly. So I would.
And they had a radio that kept playing Phantom of the Opera over and over and over.
And the radio looked like it was from 1940s.
Oh, at least from the 1940s.
So
it had 2 dials, a volume and a station selector that only played Phantom of the Opera music. So,
anyways, it was a good trip, and we hope this is helpful to you. We're certainly not travel vloggers. That's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
We are simply boaters who want to see if we would like bareboat charting, and I think so. And I think we're talking to a few couples of our circle of friends that might go next year with us. So to the BVIs. So, and if you're one of those couples and you want to go, let us know.
Or if you've done it and you liked it or not liked it.
Who did you like? Dreams, moorings,
Sunsail.
Sunsail. Let us know. Comment down below. As always, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Share it to others.
Yep, and follow our blog at boatingjourney.com. We just got the keys to the boat today, and we have so much to go over with it. Once it's all out of service and getting cleaned up, we'll give you a full tour, and we'll share all that with you later. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.